Good morning, July 22nd. A while back I tried to do a vlog entry about neurological connections and motor cortex, and I feel like the camera problems and the audio problems really screwed that video up. And I didn't explain it very well. I'm going to try to explain it again. We have billions of connections inside of our brains, and we make new connections constantly. And the more time you spend on a thing, the more resources your brain will allocate to that thing. And it doesn't matter if it's an emotion or if it's a skill, your brain will assign stuff to it, so to speak. So if you have a habit of talking badly about yourself when you make a mistake, your brain assigns resources to that. When you try to learn to juggle, the more you practice juggling, the more resources your brain assigns to that. Skill, like the skill to build a house or hammer a nail to bring it to a smaller level, skills are variations on memory. Your brain, every time you hammer a nail, your brain is like, oh yeah, I know what this is. And every time you hammer a nail, your brain allots more neurological connections to that, especially that motor cortex, that function of the hammer, right, of striking a nail. When you start hammering nails, you miss a lot. And if you hammer a lot of nails, you get better to the point where you don't miss. It's kind of like if you want to learn how to drum, if you want to learn how to be a drummer and play the drums, you're like, I don't have any coordination. Well, you don't, like, drummers don't start off able to play the drums. Guitarists don't start off being able to play the guitar. Well, it's true, some people have some inherent ability. Ability is a stand-in for more neurological connections. Some people may have an inherent ability, but that's where their advantage ends. If they don't continue to cultivate that ability, and you do, you will surpass them in your skill level. And this is true for everything that we do. Everything that we do. There are numerous studies out there that talk about a thing called neuroplasticity, and Brene Brown has a hell of a podcast. Dan Eagleman, I think, is their neurologist. She interviews. Her podcast is called Unlocking Us. It's a really good podcast. And Dan Eagleman discounts neuroplasticity in a lot of ways because he talks about it in different terms. There are a lot of studies. Take a different drive home. Like when you commute home, drive a different route, because it makes your brain make new connections. Your brain's like, hey, what's this? And it has to have some adaptation going on. And that's true for like everything that you do. Like any single thing that you do, if you mix it up and make it new and novel, your brain has to be like, whoa, and do something new to catch up. Have you ever been in a situation, maybe you've been the person or somebody else has been in the person, and you're talking to them, what did I just say? Anyway, let's say a friend comes to visit your house. They drive to your house after work, and you try to talk to them immediately about something you've been thinking about all day, and they're like, give me a minute, I just got here. Their brain is not on board. They're still driving a car, even though they're not driving a car. They have not yet arrived. Same thing in the yoga studio or in any type of fitness studio. People are like not present even though they're physically there because their brains haven't landed yet. And it shouldn't take too much effort to relate to what I'm trying to explain. That idea of I haven't landed yet, that's what I'm talking about. That's the neurological connections in your brain. Let's take this in a different direction. First responders. Something happens on the side of the road and you want to help and you don't even know how to start. First responder shows up, people will jump out of the first responder vehicle, right, whatever kind of vehicle it is, and they immediately start giving orders. You two in the red shirt, grab that bucket, see if you can get some water on this fire. You in the blue cardigan, call 911, right? They immediately start rattling off orders. It's because they've either been in live situations like this more often, or they've trained more often, or probably a combination. So whereas an untrained person may come to the scene of a car accident and have to really think about what the hell is going on and then start reacting, somebody who has been exposed to this by training exercises or reality will have a memory of events. That's all skill is. Skill is just memory. Another way to look at memory. And they react immediately instead of trying to process anything. Everybody has the ability to do that. Everybody has the ability to learn to arrive immediately upon arrival. Everybody has the ability to build skills or memories of choice. And we all choose to do it every day subconsciously. Let's say you get in your car to go to work and you're driving to work and you're halfway there and you reach down to your cup holder and you go to grab the coffee that you made and the coffee is not there. And you get mad at yourself for not remembering your coffee. Do you really want to spend the rest of your commute building a skill set to be mad at yourself? Because that's what you're doing. Same thing for good habits and bad habits. You want to eat healthy and you constantly have a craving for whatever. Insert terrible food of the day here. Every time you feel bad about something, you go eat that terrible food. Or you're building a set of memories that when you feel bad, this food makes you feel good. It's not going to be easy to break that habit. Dopamine is powerful. Is it dopamine? Neurotransmitters. Yeah, I think it's dopamine. Alright, feel-good neurotransmitters. You have a set of autonomous functions in your body that you set and forget. And you set and forget them with your conscious choices. And everybody I know, I've never known a human who does not say, I want to do this more, or I want to do that more. I want to write more. I want to ride a bike more. That's me. Biking. I want to practice more yoga. I want to make coffee in the morning. I want to eat healthy. I want to go to the gym. Like, everybody has all of these things that they want to do because their rational brain looks at their lifestyle and their state of health, whether it's emotional or physical or combination, right? They look at this, they evaluate themselves as not being as healthy as they could be. I'm not talking about going from an unhealthy person to an Olympic athlete. I'm talking about just a little bit more healthy. And there's no shortage of the information available for free on the internet. And some of it is of very high quality. So people know what to do. We know what bad habits we want to break. We fucking call them bad habits. Right? Hi. And yet, we allow an autonomous system that we've programmed by previous behaviors, by the way. We let that system keep running the rational, discerning part of our minds. And there is a way to overcome that. But unfortunately, it's not exterior, it's interior. You need to cultivate it within yourself. It's not easy. Once habits are established, especially habits that deliver feel-good neurotransmitters, reward center actions, it's very difficult to replace them. Because our bodies want to conserve. Our bodies want to stay right where they are as much as possible. But it's possible. You have it in, you have this integrated system that you're already using every day. You're going to do this whether you want to or not. That's the kick. Whether you choose to or not, your brain is going to allocate resources to your habits, and your habits come from your choices. So we deserve, for our own sake, to make better choices for ourselves. And before you know it, 5 years have gone by, or 10 years have gone by, and you look back and you say, if only I had started this then. And that's not even getting into the excuse engine. I'll start working out on Monday. The excuse engine is powerful, directly linked to these other habits and neurotransmitters and feel-good stuff and autonomy. Like it's all intertwined, sure. But when we start using our rational mind to talk ourselves out of good decisions, it's something else entirely. My mantra has been to make decisions that future Jay will be happy with. I've had that for a long time. A close friend of mine said something like that. He said something like, I can't remember. You need to make decisions that future Jay that future Jay, I can't remember what he said. My translation is to make decisions that future me will be happy with. And it's as good a translation as any. It's been working real well. Speaking of which, I'm gonna go work out. I'm gonna go do my 365. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me on my practice this morning. Namaste. That's your cue. That's your cue to come in.